Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome to Inner Healer. I'm your host, Shakri. Today we're going to be talking about Jupiter. Now, what is Jupiter? Jupiter is the planet of expansion. Jupiter is where you will see healing, growth, just good all around things. These are the people who will travel everywhere. This is good for big business. This is just good for expansion. It will, whatever Jupiter touches, it expands. So let's get into it. Jupiter in the first house. Now, Jupiter in the first house, these people have like a natural leadership aura about them. These are the people who actually want to be seen. So these are the people who will travel to be seen. They have like lots of confidence because you have to have confidence to want to be seen in front of people, right? These are the people who will probably be like the motivational speakers because they are in front of everyone. You can see them. You can see everything that they're doing because it's Jupiter. It's in the first house. These people could possibly, eat a lot. Like wherever Jupiter goes, it expands. So if they eat a lot, then it will expand their body. These people could have either a plump body or they could have like a nice physique that have like a more plump behind. Hips, things like that. It expands. So these are also people on the flip side of that. These people could be arrogant, and they could be arrogant and not even intending to be arrogant. They could be judgmental. Like these are things that, like, I guess you would say the flip side of the expansion. They could expand like the arrogantness of them. Now, second house. Second house, they call this the billionaire house, to have Jupiter in your second house. Now, these people earn lots of money. They earn lots of money. They have like high self-esteem. Sometimes. Now, it depends on how it's aspected. These could be like the overspender people. Remember, wherever Jupiter touch, it expands. So if you're spending and you have Jupiter here, you're going to spend a lot. These are materialistic people. Like they're materialistic in the sense of I have the money so I can buy it. Remember I said overspenders. So these are also people who are like, these are not the people who you would look at as basic. They're above average. They're not basic. Remember, Jupiter expands. You have the money to be able to do so. They're financially well off people. So if they have the money to do so, then yes, they're going to be above average, right? These could also be people who would hoard money too. Now, that's second house. Also with second house, Jupiter, these people could be highly in tune with themselves. Highly in tune with themselves in the sense of they're able to take care of themselves on a financial aspect. So they're not having the day-to-day stresses of how am I supposed to get this money? How am I supposed to do that? They can be more in tune with themselves. Why? Because they have the money to be able to pay bills and focus on self. A lot of people don't have that luxury of being able to just focus solely on self. They have to think about how can I pay these bills? How can I do this? How can I do that? If you have the money to be able to, financially provide for yourself, then that takes a lot of stress away from you. And then you're able to notice when things are going well and when they're not going well within yourself. So that's when I say like they're highly in tune with themselves because they are capable of doing it. Not saying that you have to have the money too, but it's a lot harder when you have to think about getting money in order to take care of yourself. Okay? Now that's second house. Third house, Jupiter. Now these people could be like speakers because Jupiter is the house of Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury. So they speak. These could also be the public speakers because it's Jupiter. It expands. So it's going to expand your opportunities. Whereas you could be, speaking in front of smaller crowds. Now, when you put yourself out there, you're able to speak in front of larger crowds. These could be preachers speaking in front of larger crowds. They have like a commanding demeanor about themselves. I speak, you listen. And it's not to be cocky or arrogant. It's just the way that they speak. It just commands attention from everyone. These could be people that have like a beautiful voice box. Also, going back to second house, because Taurus rules the throat, those could be singers also. So those could be the people that have beautiful voice boxes also. But it's a different kind of voice box when you come to the third house. The third house, they have like like I said, a commanding voice. Like, you just have to listen to what I'm saying, because it could be interesting what they're saying. It could be the way that they say it. Like, it's just, these are the speakers. So they're going to know how to command your attention. They're also good for media. So podcasting, YouTube, anything where you have to speak or even write. So they could be journalists. Anywhere you have to speak or write, remember Mercury. They're good for that. And they will do really well. These are like the truth seekers, because they're speaking, they're seeking, they want to know the truth. Jupiter expands. So wherever Jupiter goes, it expands. So if you're looking for something, you're going to find it here, in there, the third house. And these are people who tend to be more apt to learning different languages. Speaking, Jupiter rules over foreign, so different languages. Now on the flip side, these could be people who yap, talk so much, yang, run that mouth, do like this. They talk a lot, and they could be getting like things mixed up a lot too, because they talk so much. They're talking so much, sometimes they don't even know what they're saying. Jupiter in the third house. On the flip side, remember, there's always a flip side to everything. Now that's Jupiter in the third house. Now Jupiter in the fourth house. Jupiter in the fourth house will be the Cancer house. So Cancer is ruled by the moon. So these are people who could have been like spoiled by their mom as a child. They could be well traveled, because they travel a lot with their family. They went places with their family. Jupiter is rules over travel. Fourth house deals with the family, the mom. So they could have traveled with their family a lot as a child. And even as an adult, they like to travel. Or on the other side of, either they like to travel or they like to have their house looking very extravagant. They're going to be the ones with the big house. They're going to be the ones that have a big family. They come from a big family, or they want a big family. You know, it could work either way. These people were more emotionally supported or secure by their family. So they're more aware of themselves once they go out into the real world. These are people who you also will feel safe and secure around. They just make you feel real safe. These are people who give like those big hugs, those big comfortable hugs, you know, like grandma would do. These also are people who are loyal to their family, and they could be loyal to a fault. They could be loyal to a fault. These could be people who sacrifice themselves for their family. Okay? Now that's Jupiter in the fourth house. Now, Jupiter in the fifth house of Leo, the sun, where it shines, where the sun shines, Jupiter expands. So you already know, these are people with those overinflated egos. Hey, look at me. I'm here. I'm her. They are the entertainers. Why? Because Leo, the sun, shines the brightest, right? The brightest, the shiniest, all of that. Jupiter expands. These are people who could be the performers. They're really, really creative people. Like I said, they could be entertainers. So singing, dancing, acting, just an all-around performer. These are also people who could have friends from a different culture, who could have like lots of friends from a different culture. Remember, Jupiter rules over foreign. Fun is the fifth house. Friends are fun, right? So they could be people who have like lots of friends. These are people who are life of the party. They let's get this party started. They the ones that you want to call on if you want to get the party started. If you want to get it cracking, these are the people that you call on, because they going to be the ones that come in and show out. And they going to start it, and you going to have fun around them. These are the people that you can actually have fun around. They could be also overindulging. So they can overindulge in food, they can overindulge in sex, in partying. Jupiter expands. Fifth house is the fun house. So anything involving fun, these people could like overindulge in that. And because they have talents, and because Jupiter is here, if Jupiter is like negatively aspected, like it could possibly show them being insecure about their talents. So here you could find a person who's very talented, but they just won't put it out to the world for the world to see them be so talented. They'll be the ones who sing in the shower, who write their poems and never show anyone their poems, but they're the best poems in the world. They're not the best in the world, but hey, they could be the best in the world. You never know. The most talent is, what do they say? The most talent is in the graveyard, right? Because people never put themselves out there to be seen, to give the world what they were here to give the world. They didn't have the confidence in themselves. So that's Jupiter in the 5th house. Now, Jupiter in the 6th house. The 6th house rules over Virgo. So the Virgo deals with Mercury. The 6th house also deals with your health. So these could be like the super health conscious people. They could be like, They could be, like your chef, rather. Maybe. These are people who are like overachievers, because the 6th house deals with your day-to-day work. Jupiter expands. So whatever you're doing in the day-to-day, maybe it's going to work and you're just doing that like you are just you're just over there bootlicking. Stop all that bootlicking, all right? But these are people who could either work abroad or have clients abroad. You know how like those people who will be really, really excessive with telling you like, oh yeah, you could get somebody off of Fiverr. You can get somebody off of Fiverr, like they are over in whatever country. Like those are the people who are doing all that. Like, calm down. You don't have to do all that. Just chill. These are people who are super health conscious also, because the 6th house deals with the health, and super health conscious because Jupiter is there. But yeah, so that's Jupiter in the 6th house. Jupiter in the 7th house. Now, 7th house rules over Libra, which is ruled over Venus. So Libra, Jupiter, 7th house. These are people who are serial daters, could be. These are people who could like date outside of their race. Foreign, Jupiter, 7th house, relationships. These are people who could have like those offshore accounts, like who would put lots of money in offshore accounts. And I say that because it's Jupiter, a lot, 7th house, business. So they could be the ones who are just storing away lots and lots of money in those offshore accounts. Foreign, Jupiter, offshore. So yeah, these are the people who could like either date, marry, or even be friends with people who have a lot of money. These people also like embody the whole self-love aspect. That's what we're going to be talking about on this channel a lot, like self-love, self-healing, things like that. So these are the people who actually embody that. Once they are aware of who they are and what they possess, these are the people who like embody that self-love, and they go embody it. When I tell you that, they are the ones who just a common, just loving aura about them once they are self-aware. Just a beautiful thing. These are the people who could be like relationship coaches. They could be the ones that are like matchmakers. They could be like, that site Match.com. That could be like a Jupiter in 7th house, or just a prominent 7th house person. Like, let me connect people with people, and on a wider scale. These are also people who have like a superficial idea of relationship. They are the ones who think that there's no arguing in relationships. There's no disagreements. Then everything is just calm, cool, and serene. And we're just going to just go off into the sunset in bliss and just never, ever have anything. We're just going to agree on everything. Yeah, they can embody that type of characteristic too. They also are not good at being alone. Like, they are people who always need someone around. So they could be like codependent on also. That's a characteristic that can come out with Jupiter in the 7th house also. So that's Jupiter in the 7th house. Now, Jupiter in the 8th house. Now, the 8th house rules over Scorpio, which is the underworld, the transformation, death, rebirth, things like that. And then it's ruled by Pluto or Mars. Mars, how you get it, how you show your assertiveness. These are people who could receive a large inheritance, because this is also the house of other people's money. OPM, go get that bag. These are the people who could use the credit system to their advantage. They are going to be the ones who going to go get all those credit cards, and they're going to be able to get a bag off of that because they know how to use OPM. These are the people who probably would be like the own nothing, control everything, because they're always using other people's money. So why would I put anything in my name anyway? I'm just going to put it over here in this person's name. And if they're real smart about it, they're going to be like, oh, I'm going to put this in the trust name. And then not a person owns this, but now a trust that doesn't die, but people do. So these are the people who could, like just get the bag off of other people. OPM. These are the people who, like I said, could receive inheritance. So they could be the beneficiary on someone else's trust. And then once they create their own trust, now they're able to go get the business credit and do it from that aspect, and now build up a trust to leave for their children, but they not even leaving their children as the beneficiary, because these people are master researchers also. So they know that if you leave a person as a beneficiary, then that person still has to pay taxes. Ooh, got you on that one. That's Jupiter in the 8th house for you. These are people who could, like, literally be living in a whole nother world, but their body is present here with you. You see them, you hear them, everything, but their mind is somewhere else. They're in the underworld. Like I said, they are occult lovers. So they are thinking of the everything that you might be thinking surface level about. They gonna research and research and research, and they gonna go down that rabbit hole, and they gonna find out the truth while you only looking at it surface level. Those kind of people too. And while being in that underworld, these could be people who are mediums. They could actually be a medium because they are so in touch with the underworld. They are so in touch with the death and rebirth aspect. So they're in touch with death. These are people who are not afraid to die. These people are very spiritual. They are spiritually protected. These are intuitive people. These are really optimistic people too. They like to look on the brighter side of things. So if someone died, they're going to look at the good part of that person. Not like, well, Granny's not in pain anymore. They're going to look at it from that side, while everyone else is like all in shambles. They're crying, they're worked up, and this person is going to be, not saying that this person wouldn't get emotional and they wouldn't feel it on a deeper level, because they're feeling it on a deeper level than everyone else too. They feel really deeply. So because they're feeling it on a deeper level and they understand it on a deeper level, they can look at it from a positive, not positive, but positive point. They're very optimistic. Like I said, they could be the ones that look at it like, well, she's not in pain or he's not in pain anymore. Let's look at it from that side versus just being over here crying and worried and all of that. These are also people who could live a long life. They could actually live a long life. Remember, continuous transformations. And death and rebirth death doesn't actually have to be in the physical. Death could actually be just shedding a layer of yourself. You are not living as that person anymore. You change your ways, and you're a continuous changing person. You are continuously changing who you are, and not in a bad way. You're growing, you're learning. These are people who are avid learners. Remember, I said they go deep into that rabbit hole, so they know who they are. These people know who they are and are very in tune with who they are. Now, that's Jupiter in the 8th house. Now, Jupiter in the 9th house. Jupiter is at home in the 9th house because this is the house of Sagittarius. Jupiter rules over Sagittarius. So Jupiter is actually very comfortable here. These are the people who will travel a lot. These are like the travel vloggers. These are people who love learning. They love learning. It doesn't even have to be about anything specific, but they do love learning about like different cultures. These are teachers, spiritual gurus. Like I said, they love learning. They are a continuous student. To be a teacher, you have to be a continuous student. So these are people who continuously learn so that they can go back out and teach it to other people. These are people who will teach on a broader scale. They could be international teachers. These are the people that you will see making a big platform for themselves by teaching others. These are like your know-it-alls because, like I said, they are continuously learning, they are continuously researching, they are a forever student. So they are like the know-it-alls because they just over there researching, child. These are people who like will explore like the higher dimensions. These are like I said, a spiritual guru. So they're going to keep on searching and looking for everything in a spiritual aspect. These could be the people that, I don't know, maybe a prophet. Who knows? Now that's Jupiter in the 9th house. Now Jupiter in the 10th house. Big dog, what up? What's up? Now these are the people who are the big dogs. They are the ones that's going to start that business, and that business is going to prosper. They are going to be the ones to take care of the entire bloodline. Okay? These are the people, these are big fish. Okay? These are people you don't want to get on their bad side because they the ones that's taking care of everybody. These are people who would like travel for their career. They're here, there, and everywhere. And because they're here, there, and everywhere, they're able to make a lot more money. Earn a lot more money. So that's how they're able to take care of everybody. That's how everyone is able to look up to them because they're here, there, and everywhere. These are goal crushers. These are people who are natural born leaders. But let's look at it from a flip. Oh, these are also people who have that you should be thinking big mentality. Like they are not, they don't think small at all. Nothing is small, okay? Everything is big. Everything we do over here is big, is how they do. You know, these are like the role models also. Now, let's go to the flip side. Because this is the 10th house, which is ruled by Saturn, Capricorn. If these people start to get power hungry and they go about getting money in the wrong way, these could be the people who are going to get caught faster too, because Saturn is the one who will teach you. Saturn is also the grandfather, the teacher. So Saturn is in the government. Also, Capricorn, government. So these are the people, if you decide that you want to do something bad to get a lot of money, something illegal to get a lot of money, these are the people who will be caught faster and who will probably get those football numbers. Now that's Jupiter in the 10th house. Now Jupiter in the 11th house. The 11th house is the house of Aquarius, which is also ruled by Saturn, but on the flip side, it's ruled by Uranus too. Uranus, however you say it. Now these are people who could gain through their friends. These are also people who are good networkers. So they will get really good from like social networks, social media. These are the people who are popular through social media. This is also a wealth aspect if you have Jupiter here. Now, Jupiter here is different than Jupiter in the 2nd house. This, that long money, that old money, that money that came from way, 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 way back. Because this is the house of like, secret societies too. So you could be in like a really old group of people, not like old people, but like an older group that was founded maybe in 1900, 18 something, and they're still around today. And that's where all that old money comes from, that longevity. They kept it going. Now, on the flip side, if you have a Jupiter placement here and you start to try to do too much to get money, it's probably not going to come because you're trying too hard. The money is going to come to people with Jupiter in this house simply because they are the people who are well liked because they have a lot of friends. They are the people who have like those big social networks. So you could actually turn your audience into dollars. You don't have to try so hard with this placement. Don't try so hard with this placement. Just let it flow and it will grow. So like I said, they could gain a lot of money through online work. Aquarius deals with the internet. So they could actually gain just by being in the comfort of their own home, talking to a camera. Now that's Jupiter in the 11th house. Now Jupiter in the 12th house. The 12th house is the underworld, the house of Pisces, which is ruled by Jupiter, but it's also ruled by Neptune. Delusions, okay? These are people who could be spiritually gifted, but block them. That Neptune makes it really foggy for them. These are also people who could like have like near-death experiences and it never actually happens because they're so spiritually protected. Even if they block their spiritual gifts, their guardian angels are always watching over them. These are people who have like hidden talents and you will never know. These are people who only their family may know about their talents. Maybe they only talk around their family. These are like quiet, off distance people. So only people who are close with them will even know what they're about. There's two sides to this. These could be big risk takers because of Jupiter and it expands. But then these could also be the people who will never take a risk, who will never jump because they have that fear of that unknown. So Jupiter in the 12th house could work either way on that spectrum. These are people who could overindulge in substances. And because of that, they could have like lots of outer body experiences. And even if it's not substances involved, the 12th house is the underworld, the unknown also. So these are people who could have those outer body experiences. Now, remember, the 12th house is the house of institutions also. So because the 12th house is the house of institutions, these could be people who go to jail. Yes, they could be people who go to jail. But here's the thing. Jupiter could work in their favor because even if you go to jail, these people might not spend a long time there. Not saying that they won't, but it could possibly work out for them in that way. They could be working in hospitals because because 12th house is the house of institutions. Institutions, hospitals, mental institutions, schools are institutions, jails are institutions. So these are people who could work in these places or be patients here a lot. So that's Jupiter in the 12th house. Now, we just went over Jupiter through all 12 houses. I hope you got something from this. Please let me know down below if I touched on anything that you can relate to. If I didn't, please let me know your experience with Jupiter in the house that you have Jupiter in. You could look up your birth chart, just put in your birth time, your birth date, just put in all of your birth information and you'll be able to get your birth chart to know where you have Jupiter. That's my time. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel because we coming out with some bangers. We are here. Like I said, this is a self-love, self-healing channel. This channel is called Inner Healer because we are wanting to heal the insides of ourselves. And the way to heal the insides of ourselves is to know how to, right? And we're going about it through astrology. Not only astrology, but we're going about it through astrology. You have to know these things before we get into the self-healing aspect so that you can know how to heal this aspect or how to heal this house or how to heal this planet, things like that. But that's my time. Like I said, this is your girl, Shakri. This is Inner Healer, and we're out. Peace.